Being
Okay.
streamed on Facebook.
Excellent. Well, welcome everyone to the official class. So this is perfect because this class is about strategies for stress during the holidays. And what's interesting is less than an hour ago, Elise called me, who was teaching this class. And she's like, I've got an emergency. My neighbor needs me to take them to the hospital. They had surgery and they have an open wound that is pouring out blood, and like their colon seriously is going to be falling out. So she's like, I feel like I should probably take them. I'm like, you go, we'll figure this out, won't we? Yes. So this is a class I've taught before. I'm just in a different system, so I'm supposed to admit people as they come. So I'm going to try to be checking a lot of different places. But for those of you who don't know me, I'm Stacy Paulson. I have been using essential oils for over 14 years now. Absolutely love our experience with them. We have 6 kids. Since starting to use essential oils, we've only gone to the doctor really once for sick care. The other times it's more for stitches and x-rays and all that stuff, just because we found some things that have really worked, whether that's for physical health challenges or emotional health challenges. There's some things that we definitely have access to, which are amazing. So for those who are on, I have written down all those who are on time. So we will be doing a giveaway, even if you leave. I'm going to do that at the end. But you'll still be on my list here. I'm just writing it down.
Thank you.
You bet. So tell me, how many of you raise your hand? And if you're not like on camera, if you put in the chat, how many of you are doTERRA customers, like familiar with essential oils? So Kathy, I know Virginia's, Nancy, Shannon, Debbie.
Yeah.
So Jen, not as familiar. Okay, no problem. Like, I just want to make sure that I cover what's applicable. And then for those who are on Facebook in the group, well, I don't have enough to manage all that, so we'll just get you all later. Okay, so let me share my screen. Where are we at here? So many screens.
Babies. No. Come here. It's over.
Okay. So holiday cheer, that's really what we want to be feeling the holiday season. And sometimes it doesn't feel like that, right? Like sometimes it's like Thanksgiving is over. Boom, here we go. Black Friday sales, all the stuff. So I want to ask you, because everyone's life's different, like what it looks like. What's hard about the holidays for you? You're welcome to say it out loud or put it in the chat, just so we know where we're all at.
Too much food.
Too much food.
Especially the desserts. When you're trying to lose weight, that's not helpful.
That can be a real problem, which can cause stress of its own, right? Like having all that. What else is hard?
Just a lot going on. Just too many activities.
Too many activities. That's definitely the name of the game. That was one of the maybe nice things about COVID, is that there was like elimination of so much that it was almost like, oh, I can sit back and breathe and enjoy and focus on maybe what's most important. But we're kind of back ramping up again, right? Where we do want to have the connections. We do want to have, like, it's a magical season, but also how can we do it not feeling stressed out and overwhelmed with so much? Okay. Anyone else? Anything else that's hard about the holidays?
Anniversary of the passing of significant family members.
That can be difficult, whether that's you or maybe you have somebody that you know.
I didn't pass.
You didn't pass, no, but I know what you're talking about. My dad, he passed away the day after Christmas.
My mom too. Wow. My grandmother. I had a brother die in December.
Yeah, so that can bring up emotions around that. Memories, emotions. Thanks for bringing that one up. Anything else that's hard about the holidays?
It's cold.
Yes. For those who were on, we were just talking about that. Whether you're in Southern California and you're down to your 60s, or you're somewhere else and you're like actually below freezing. Yeah.
Hey, it's in the 40s in the morning here.
Okay, true. And it
Beautiful.
it changes the pattern of your life for sure. Yes. So all of these, whether they're physical. help.
sorry. I was
stresses?
going to
Go
add,
ahead.
yeah, I was just going to add finances because I
Oh,
think a lot
Oh,
of
yeah.
people, it's just that unless you budgeted for Christmas, sometimes things happen and emergencies, your car breaks down, you're in the middle of trying to buy presents and you can't budget at all. So finances might
finances
be
is
a,
huge. Thank you for bringing that up. That is probably, well, I was just listening to something they were talking about. I think it was a huge number. It was like 60, no, it was in the 80s. I can't remember the exact number. It was on our news, and they said that there was a study done that said 80-ish% of people who put Christmas on a credit card last year haven't even paid that off this year and are feeling, it coming around again, right? So finances for sure are a huge one for people. So all of these things can be hard. And just thinking about like understanding stress, it manifests in different ways for different people, but these are just some of the common things that might come up as we're feeling stressed. And this may not be you. Maybe you handle stress or circumstances pretty well, like emotionally are able to process and deal with things, but you might be around people who are dealing with these things as well. So just thinking about like clenching stomach, it can increase your blood pressure. It can increase like muscle tension. So you might have additional aches or pains. I know one of mine is like right up here in my shoulders. And I had to kind of remind myself like, relax, breathe. Like, why am I so tense? Any of you experience any of these? Yeah, it's interesting how our emotional state can impact us physically. And we may not even consciously be aware of that the stress we're feeling or those negative emotions that we might be feeling can manifest in a stomach ache or muscle tension, tightness, right? Eating more, like craving foods, sweating. Like there's just so many things that can come physically from the emotions. And so just maybe having an awareness of, oh, my neck really hurts, but the cause might be an underlying emotion. It could be stress, right? And there are healthy ways that we can manage stress. You can kind of see a list here. Any on those lists that you do, or share some of the things that you found helpful that you do to help manage stress. Go ahead and share with those with us. Anyone?
I went to the gym today.
So
Number one on the list.
Yeah, there's an amazing thing that actually helps process emotions because of the movement. Studies have shown that emotions are molecules and that those emotions can help be processed or moved through our bodies through actual movement.
It's also a great way to clear your head out. You know, when you're in the middle of a project and you get stuck and you don't know what else to do with it, go outside, walk around the block, go to the gym and get some fresh air and just get away from it for a while. And then you suddenly, the aha moment can happen.
Exactly. And that is a really good life skill to be able to have a trigger where it's like, okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed or I'm feeling stuck or things aren't moving. It's taking me a long time to think, to have a trigger that comes up and like, oh, I need a break. Go take a walk, go get a drink of water.
And you don't have to walk alone. If you're taking a walk around the block, if you have a pet or a child that you can drag it out there with you and just have, I used to have a dog, but he's since passed away, but whenever I felt stressful, I would grab the dog and we'd go for a walk around the block. He couldn't be happier. And he was a great mental health therapist for me.
Yeah,
So,
and it can be super simple like that. Virginia said, listen to music. So you might have like a favorite playlist or a go-to that music, depending on what it is, right, can actually raise your energy, raise your emotional frequency, so that you feel differently just because of the music you're listening to. So thanks for sharing that. Shannon, did you have? I didn't know if someone's.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, I do. I wanted to mention definitely supplements, diffusing your oils, and gratitude. Those are huge for me. And gratitude is right along with journaling, kind of together there. But those are daily like little rituals that I tend to try to do throughout the year, not just Christmas time. But yeah.
And I love that.
And the music. Yes.
Music.
Yeah.
I agree with all those. They're amazing.
Yes. And we're going to get to the oils and supplements. We're going to dive more into those. But I love that you bring up gratitude and also the habit that it's not just during the holidays or just during stressful times, that if we get into habits of doing certain things, those lifestyle shifts that we make help our lives when there are circumstances that could be perceived as more stressful, actually help us to get through them without feeling the stress. And so it's sometimes easier to implement new lifestyle choices when we're feeling good, not stressed, right? And that's one of the reasons why I love essential oils, and we'll talk a little bit more about these, is because it's so simple to do, to just like put a couple of drops like in a diffuser or on your hands, or just open the bottle, where sometimes creating other lifestyle shifts might be a little more work, right? But not saying they're not as valuable. So the gratitude journal, I love that. So I've been doing a lot of research on the emotion of gratitude, and it's actually one of the highest like resonating emotions that we can have. So each emotion that we experience, whether it's grief, depression, anxiety, stress, happiness, joy, awe, like all of these emotions, they've actually measured the frequency at which molecules resonate when you're feeling a certain way. And gratitude is one of the highest frequencies, and actually will lift you, like not just emotionally, but physically. You will feel more energized, more at peace, more calm. Like there's so many benefits from this emotionally and physically because you're feeling gratitude. So what a great tool that we have access to. I mean, honestly, you have your phone, you can put in your notes app, like just things you're grateful for. You can grab a notebook, which, just write that, have it on your nightstand. Shannon, what do you do as far as, gratitude journal and the habit you've established?
But so I just think I try to think of at least three things every day at the end of the day that I'm thankful for, and along with the journaling the day. So.
And this is so simple. How long does that take you?
Not very long at all. Just a minute at the max. It's quick, just a quick thought process. And it does help me think of, if the day hasn't been great, then there were some good things that happened. So I try to focus on those, especially before going to bed, because to me, I sleep better when I focus on, I can't watch the news or anything bad before bed. So yeah, it really helps me.
I love that. Such a simple thing that you can do. And it doesn't diminish that there are hard things that happen, right? I like the analogy of there's a cup that's half full, half empty, and they're both present, right? There's half of the empty and there's half full, and it's what we tend to focus on. So when we're focusing on gratitude, the things that we're grateful for, it's not that we're saying those other things aren't there, right? It's not like we're shoving down something. It's just that we're placing our focus somewhere else. And by shifting our focus, we give that energy. We give gratitude energy, and that shifts things for ourselves, like our being, but then it also shifts our circumstances because we show up differently. And so then people show up differently around us, right? Have you ever walked into the room and like there, you can just tell like the energy of someone? It might be super low energy. I can sense this, like when my husband, he doesn't have to even say something and like, ooh, what's wrong? Or you're tired or something, right? Because energy has that vibration. It has something we can just kind of tell. And so thank you for bringing that up. Okay. Anyone else want to share anything that they do before we jump into, we're going to dive into essential oils. We'll talk a little bit about like foundational health things with supplements and just some recipes, remedies, things that might be helpful as far as the essential oils. Anyone else before we move on? Okay. And welcome those who have just joined: Erica, Kimberly, Stephanie, and Lizette. Let's see, I think we got everyone there, and anyone watching the replay or on Facebook. So I do want to mention that the things that we talk about with essential oils in our workshops, that we're specifically talking about doTERRA essential oils, that this isn't necessarily applicable to all essential oils. If you're going to Whole Foods or some health food store, that we just don't know the quality of those, but we do know the quality of doTERRA. So this was a study that was done by Roseman University. Unbeknownst to doTERRA, they actually came to doTERRA and said that they have been doing these studies on top name brands of essential oils. And they found that doTERRA oils were therapeutically relevant in cell growth and rejuvenation, metabolic health, healthy inflammatory responses. And some of the other results is that the essential oils from different competitors had minimal effects. And then as other third-party testing facilities have been testing essential oils, they found that 80 to 90% of essential oils on the market have synthetic markers or are adulterated or contaminated in some way. So you have to be really careful what you use. So when I'm talking about lavender and what it's good for, or if I share a different oil, or somebody on here shares like, hey, I've been using this doTERRA oil, we're talking specifically about doTERRA, no guarantees on other things. Also safety with this. So all of doTERRA oils are labeled with a supplement fact label if you can take it internally. So you can see that there on the picture. And so, okay, I can use them internally. We can also use them, all of them aromatically. And then also you can use them topically, like putting them on if they're doTERRA oils. Now, it's never wrong to dilute, meaning you might use some type of lotion, coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil if you're putting it on your skin. I always recommend kind of doing a little patch test. You might try a little bit and see how it feels. So like oregano, super burny. It was funny. I had a blemish. I still have it right here this morning. I'm like, oh, it's like a hormone thing, right? And I put some oregano on there because it just works really well for me. And then my daughter had jumped in my bed and I went to give her a little hug and I gave her a kiss. And then afterwards, she's like, why is my face burning? Because oregano is hot. But for me, I know what it feels like. I'm like, I want that burn right there on that blemish, and not so much for her. But diluting them is, you can never go wrong. This picture is a picture of a couple of girls who had stayed the night at their grandma's house, and their mom would put doTERRA lavender on their chest before they went to bed. Just helps to calm that stress so that they could fall asleep. And grandma didn't have any more doTERRA lavender, but she had some from a health food store that she had purchased, and it said pure lavender on it, and rubbed it on their chest, and it actually gave them chemical burns. And why I bring this up is that I'm not saying that's going to happen with all other oils, but we do have to be careful with what we're using. Two other things before we talk about supplements, and then we're going to dive into some of the oils, is affordability. Most people who are coming to doTERRA are actually coming because they're wanting safe, affordable, and effective health solutions. And so this just gives you a price per drop. And dosage for essential oils is usually 1 to 3 drops is a dose. So one of the larger bottles, I don't know if I have one here. This is a smaller bottle, but the larger bottles contain about 250 drops. So even though it's small, it's very potent and powerful. And why they're so affordable is because they haven't been diluted down. So there was just a study done on Costco peppermint, and it was found that only 10% of the bottle was actually peppermint. The rest was a filler oil. So you'd actually have to buy 10 bottles of peppermint to get the same bottle of peppermint from doTERRA, if that was very potent. I'm not even sure. So you multiply that, right? I had a lady who worked at a pharmacy in the wellness section, and she had a newborn baby and was diffusing lavender because she knew that it was calming. And she was just using what was there at the store. And she said, I'd have to put like 15 to 20 drops to see any kind of result. And then when she started using lavender from doTERRA, just 1 or 2 drops, she's like, my baby just like passes out, she like sleeps. And so you might think you're getting something for a better deal, but it's either synthetic or it's diluted down. So super affordable and effective. Not only are they great for helping with like bacterial, fungal type issues, clearing pathogens in the air, but also can help inhibit or stop the replication of viruses. And so that is another reason why millions of people have been gravitating towards doTERRA, because they want those health benefits. Any questions about those things, safe, affordable, or effective, before we talk about the supplements? So just want to bring this up because foundationally, our mood, our emotion, our physical health really is tied to foundational pieces, which number one is nutrition. So the number one reason or cause for disease is nutritional deficiencies. And even though doTERRA is the largest essential oil company, and that's kind of what they're known for, this Lifelong Vitality supplement, there's 3 bottles of like your vitamins, your minerals, omegas, antioxidants, that this is actually doTERRA's #1 product. That this is something that people purchase on a regular basis. And the reason why is because it helps with pain, inflammation, it helps with mood, and it helps to provide cellular energy for all of those functions that our cells need to be doing. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention, especially if you're dealing with low mood, anxious feelings, lack of energy, that you might want to be paying attention to the nutrients that you're getting. And this is something doTERRA has a 30-day money-back guarantee on. And my experience with it, and anybody else who's tried them or using them is welcome to share. But when I started with doTERRA, I had one experience with allergies. So I had allergies my whole life, took medication, and my friend Elise had given me a couple of drops of essential oil. I rubbed it across the bridge of my nose and my allergies just went away, which blew my mind. I didn't even know what they were. But she didn't know that I was dealing with other issues, with chronic migraines and sinus infections. I was dealing with low energy, low mood, and traditional healthcare wasn't necessarily helping me to feel better. I was taking medications, had surgeries, and I just felt like I wasn't getting any better. And I went to an event with Elise where one of the owners of doTERRA, Dr. Hill, was talking about this foundational principle of like our bodies need nutrients. And if they don't get the nutrients, you're going to start seeing it breaking down in different ways. And it also impacts your mood and emotion and how you can regulate that. And so because he said there was a 30-day money back guarantee, I'm like, okay, I'll try it. And I have never turned back. Like that's been over 14 years of using Lifelong Vitality. My whole family uses it. We feel better. We act better. My kids, I can tell when they haven't, like, oh, you're missing something, that your brain's not firing like it should. So I just wanted to bring that up. Anyone want to share any experiences they've had with it before we get into some of the specific essential oils that you can use to combat like stress and different type of emotions and feelings? Okay. Not. Here we go. So the first thing that I want to bring up, if you're not familiar with, doTERRA has an emotional aromatherapy kit. There's 6 different oils, and you can buy them individually, or you can buy them as a whole kit, or you can get them also in a roller bottle. So I don't know if this is big enough for you to see, but there's the Motivate, Cheer, let me get a few things off my screen here, Passion, Forgive, Console, and then Peace. So if you look at the wheel here, they created certain blends because science has shown we have a predictable response to certain smells. So more of the minty oils help us to feel positive, courageous, confident. So they've mixed those types of minty things with citrus things, which are energizing, optimistic, creative in this blend of Motivate. Does that make sense? So they're taking citrus and mint and they mixed a blend called Motivate. So if you're needing to feel more motivation, then that would be the oil that you can turn to. And what happens is when you breathe those chemical constituents in, and that's why they're called aromatic, is because they're so light that when they're exposed to air, they actually will like flash off in the air. And that's why a lot of people are diffusing, because you can put a couple of drops in a diffuser and it will put these aromatic compounds into the air and you'll be breathing them for hours because they're attached to little water molecules. That's not heavy like a humidifier, but they're atomized. So they're very small and light and we breathe them in. And when we breathe them in, they attach to our olfactory system, which is our mood and our emotion. And it's just one of the fastest ways to impact our emotion. So if you're feeling like a lack of motivation, breathing in that oil is just a quick response. It's faster than taking some kind of chemical or pharmaceutical where you take a pill, it goes down your stomach, it has to be broken down, absorbed, get in your bloodstream, and then go to your brain. Much longer process, and often there's side effects, sometimes there's addictions, but with essential oils, just a very quick, wow, like I feel different. So if you're feeling, or if you're wanting to feel more cheerful, Cheer is a great blend. More passion, maybe you're feeling a lack of passion of life, like sometimes I feel in January, February, that might be an oil that you pull out. Forgive, again, I had a friend, her husband had passed away. He had gone up on a, like up in the mountains on a snowmobile and had gotten lost. Search and rescue went out. By the time they found him, he had passed away. And she, you know, she was trying to process this, had kids, and somebody had sent her some essential oils. One of them was Forgive and one was Console. And she's like, what are those going to do for me? Right. So she kind of just set them aside, was like, that was idiotic. Why would somebody send me that? Like, I'm dealing with something like major here. And then it was probably a month later that she saw those sitting there and she's like, what the heck? I'll just, you know, let's see what this smells like. So she opened that bottle of Forgive and she just said, like, when she smelled it in, it was like this release that she didn't even know that she was holding her husband responsible for the situation that she was in. And so she was having a really hard time mourning and processing. And she didn't even know that she was hanging on to that type of anger towards her husband who had passed away. And so when she smelled that, she's like, it was so clear and it was such a release for her. And then she pulled out the Console and she's like, that was my new best friend. She's like, whenever I just started feeling kind of alone, she would just pull out that oil and it just helped her to feel differently. So just know that that's available either as a kit or individually. If you're seeing, okay, that's the one, I need more motivation or I need just peace, right? And you're welcome to unmute or share if you have any experiences with these. I'm going to just share one more about peace. My daughter, we have 6 kids. She's the second to last. Her name's Minna. She is the most, in a good way, emotional child. Like she is just the happiest, funniest, most loving, empathetic. Like there's just so many positive things about her emotions. But because she feels so deeply, when it's something like hard, she feels it deeply. She feels like I can hear her screaming in a good way. But when she was little, she had a hard time controlling that and she would just pound her head on the floor. And so she ended up with this goose egg that looked little lopsided unicorn over here that wouldn't go away. And it scared me. And like the doctor's like, I'll just let her do it. I'm like, oh, she's going to get a concussion. I don't know. But what I found was this blend, which doTERRA finally put together. We were mixing these oils together ourselves, that when she smelled that, it was like within seconds, she was able to control those emotions and you could just see the peace come to her. And we called it the Peaceful Child Blend, but doTERRA has that one now. So there's lots of different reasons why we might use essential oils. Anyone want to share if you have anything about any of these?
Just a fun fact about Forgive, it's also a really good smelling insect repellent.
Oh, well, okay. That is interesting. Because yeah, some insects repellents are disgusting and they're toxic. But
Yeah. So
okay, there you go.
yeah.
Side use when you don't need to forgive, but you want to get rid of the pests. I like that. Okay. Now we're going to talk about a blend, Adaptiv and Balance. So these are 2 amazing oils. Balance is very grounding essential oil. And so often people, I had a friend when I first started using oil. She was actually at that first event that I went to. She was sitting back behind me. She wasn't my friend then. She like tapped me on my shoulder. Her name's Chelsea. And she shared with me that how she got started using essential oils is that her and her husband were diagnosed with depression and they were getting close to that point where they were going to go on, both of them were going to go on medication. And her friend had introduced them to oils and said, hey, I don't know if this would work because they were all like new to this whole thing. I don't know if these will work, but here's an essential oil that maybe you want to try. And it was Balance. And she found that she could just put a couple of drops of Balance on the bottom of her feet in the morning. They absorb like within 30 seconds into your bloodstream and go systemic. And so that was her go-to. She's like, that saved me. That saved my marriage. That saved me as a mom because she had young kids. And so just that one essential oil was super powerful for her. And so that's something you can put it on topically and you can put it in a diffuser. But the blend, 4 drops of Adaptiv, 3 drops of Balance or ones if you want to mix those in a diffuser. an easy thing that you can do. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about Adaptiv in just a second. And then another great one, it's blend, you can write this down, that you can make as a roller bottle, is the Balance Copaiba and Wild Orange. Now, if you're not familiar with roller bottles, let me see one here. And basically what you do is whatever that recipe is, 10 drops, 8 drops, whatever, this thing comes off. They usually come off separately, that top part. And so you'll just put your oils in, drop them in, and then you fill it up the rest of the way with fractionated coconut oil. We use fractionated coconut oil because it doesn't smell like coconut and it doesn't stain your clothes. So, you know, if I'm going to put it on my chest, I don't have to worry about it staining my clothes or I'm smelling like coconut, which I like, but it doesn't mess up the smell of your oils. And it holds them captive. We call it a carrier oil. Fractionated coconut oil is a carrier oil because it carries those oils or captures those oils so that they don't flash off in the air so much, and more can be absorbed, and it lasts longer on your skin and more time for them to be absorbed into your skin. And so it's always a great thing to dilute them, but that's something that you can mix up and just have like in your purse, in a diaper bag, in a gym bag. If you have someone you love that needs them, it's just very empowering to know you have a tool right there on hand that you can just grab. I'm like, I'm feeling super stressed, and be able to put that on your wrist, breathe it in, put it on your chest. The back of your neck is a great place to do it. But just super easy solution versus dealing with the stress, and chronic stress leads to additional health challenges. In fact, the number one reason why people end up in the emergency room is stress related. So just knowing we have simple tools like an essential oil roller bottle that could help prevent things for us is huge. And anybody else want to share before I jump to the last one? Any experts on oils or users, like things that you found helpful for managing stress, oils that you've been using? I don't want to leave anyone out. All right. So now I'm going to briefly talk about the Adaptiv system. I carry Adaptiv at work. Is it the roller bottle, Erica, or just the bottle? Because so Adaptiv comes in 3 different forms, and it's called the calming blend because that's exactly what it does. It impacts your brain. I like to think of it how it takes you out of like the fight or flight mode, kind of the emotional brain running the show, right, into more of the logical mode. When we think of anxiety, I think of anxiety as we have stress about the future, right? Like we're forward thinking things that haven't ever happened yet, right? But we're worried or concerned that those things are going to happen. And so we're feeling it now. So that's anxiety. Depression is often in the past focused, like things have happened in the past and I'm kind of living in the past and I'm re-feeling those feelings from the past. But anxiety is that, that future thinking. Nancy says she diffuses it. Erica has the roller bottle that she uses at work. That's awesome. Super empowering to have it on hand, available anytime. So Adaptiv was formulated to help with those anxious feelings, with stress, to help us put us back in kind of the logical brain thinking place versus the emotional brain. Is just really easy to be able to shift using that. And so 3 different forms. One is the roller bottle that you can just roll on. Then there's the oil that comes in a bottle that you can either just smell right from the bottle, you can put some, drops, or you can put them in the diffuser. So if you're wanting to diffuse, you'll definitely want to have the oil bottle. If you want a roller bottle, you can buy the roller bottle, or you can make your own roller bottle. You can actually just put some of the Adaptiv in an empty roller bottle. You can buy them online. Amazon has everything these days, right? And make your own if that's what you want, or just get both of them and have those on hand. But then they also have Adaptiv capsules. So this is an herbal remedy, and it has the Adaptiv blend of lavender, coriander, wild orange, fennel seed, like the oil part in there, but it also has some herbs in there that are also helpful. So I wanted you to be aware that there's multiple forms And some people do better with one form rather than the other, putting it on versus smelling it, taking it internally versus the other ones, right? Or a combination of those things. So just know you have multiple ways that you can take them. And I hope you've been able to read some of the experiences that people have. I had pages and I was just like, let me just pull a couple of these. So even affecting your heart rate. So that's this one here. For me, it's super small. Can't read it at this point. Let me see if I can clear it. Anyway, she's basically just talking about how her heart was raising, her blood pressure had gone up, and within, it's like 5 minutes later, after 10 minutes from applying Adaptiv, like you could see the before and after, if you can see how it's decreased. So it is just an easy tool to have on hand. And it's super powerful when you are combining those with other lifestyle things, right? If we're doing our journaling, if we're exercising, if we're making sure we're getting enough nutrients, that the essential oils can be a supplement that we use on top of other lifestyle choices, but it just does make it super easy and simple. And if you have family members who aren't like willing to make some changes in lifestyle to help manage stress, this is something that you can sneaky do on the down low by just putting in a diffuser. And they're smelling it, and Adaptiv smells wonderful. Wild orange smells wonderful. There's oils that are very, like the cheer, all of those are emotional aromatherapy oils. They smell great, that you can put those in. Everybody in the room is going to be impacted by it. So even if you have somebody that doesn't like oils, like they can be impacted. So I love that. Okay. Before we wrap up and get to the giveaways, I did want to say that Elise was going to teach this class, had an emergency for those who hopped in later. And so I did my best, but she does have an ebook with a bunch of recipes that she's going to send out to you. So you'll have that as well. Let's see in the chat, we have Adaptiv capsules make night and day difference for our daughter. She does not focus without it, and we homeschool, so I need her focus. Thanks, Stephanie, for sharing that. I love diffusing and gifting everyone the experience without them really noticing. That's awesome. I have a lot of anxiety and stress. Yes, so try Adaptiv or one of the other oils. Absolutely. You're going to find one that is like your best friend for sure. And then Kathy said I diffuse Serenity. So that's another great calming oil. Really can shut off your brain, right? And help you to be able to sleep or calm. I love that. Okay, for those who are new to doTERRA, well, even if you're not, okay, so if you are a wholesale customer or a wellness advocate with doTERRA, you have your own account, you can go to doTERRA.com, log in. The best way to purchase your oils is through their loyalty rewards program. I'm just going to pop in and share a different screen real fast, because I think it's easier to see. Share. So you go to doTERRA.com. This is what you'll find. And King of Oils, which is frankincense, you can get a bottle for free this month if you place a 200 PV order. So that's 200 point value, not dollar amounts, point value. You get a free frankincense, which is, I believe, is it 79, 69, something like that, dollar value. So a lot of people in December, because they usually do this promo, will stock up on frankincense during December. And oftentimes people, they will ask friends or family to, hey, do you need anything? And they'll place that order on their order so they can get more frankincense. So that's just a strategy if you want more frankincense. But if you already have an account, of course, you can go here, log in. I'm going to show you this so that those who aren't familiar. So you log in and you can order in two ways. One is just a standard order, and another is a loyalty rewards order. And so I have a monthly order that I order, and you get points every time you order. So I have over 500 points. I did redeem some today because I sent a gift of oils to someone. So I use my points to send to somebody. But when you place your order, you'll also get free product credits. And so like on this next order of mine, I'm going to get 41 product credits, which means I can redeem for 41 products, like about $41 worth of products, depending on what they are. That's if it's a loyalty rewards order, or you can place a standard order, which is awesome. You just don't get those additional points, but everybody who has a membership gets 25% off for a year. So that's cool. For those who don't have a membership, the best way to do it is to go back to the person who invited you to this, whether they're a customer or a wellness advocate, because they have what's called a referral link that they can send you so that you can get 25% off for a year. Normally it's $35 to get your membership, which is kind of like a Costco membership, but with one of those referral links, you get that $35 waived, and then you get the 25% bonus. Also, if you are a customer and you share your link with someone, your friends and family get that discount, right? But then you also get a product credit, and those little product credits will show up here. They'll look different than these points, but they'll be doTERRA dollars that you can go do shopping sprees with. Just be aware. In your account, if you go under account right here, you'll see it says share and earn, get my link. That's the link that you can share with anyone. So if somebody's like, hey, do you have a bottle of On Guard? Or hey, what's that smell? I love it. Or whatever it is, you can give them that link and they can go purchase their own stuff and you will get a product credit. Now, for those who are, I'm going to sign out. For those who don't have a membership, I want to show you how that works when you use someone's link. So it'll say, hey, congratulations, 25% off. And you can just start shopping right here. And you can search for those products that you want. You can either do a, there's starter kits, or let's just say you're wanting to do like the what did I call it? Emotional aromatherapy. I'll just pick that one. Let's just say that's what I wanted, right? So I want that whole kit. Then I can go ahead and purchase. I'll get the discounted price on that. Also, I have a promo code for you, and I will put that in the chat. And if you put that promo code in there, you can get a free oil, few free oils, depending on what it is, how much you order. But just know that that's available as well. If you just wanted one oil, you can just search for it. Maybe I just want the Adaptiv. Ooh. Right? Maybe I just want that Adaptiv oil. I can just search for that and it will come up here, right? So that's as easy as it is. You just go through and check out, pay for it, ships to you, blah, blah, blah. Any questions, anyone? Okay, easy peasy. Let me get that promo code. And this is a code that you can actually share with friends and family if you have friends and family that want to order.
Stacy, there is a question in the chat. Somebody's looking for what to diffuse. Where did that go? What combination of oils are good for feeling apathetic due to being overwhelmed by deadlines?
Oh, I love it. Okay.
A really good question.
That's a great question. So there, I put the promo code in there. This is for any new customers who want to get started. You can use that promo code. So I love this. I have the app on my phone, but I also have this book. It's Emotional Aromatherapy. To know how to use oils, I recommend getting an app or a book. And there's the Essential Life book or app. I love the app just because it's on my phone and it's $5 and super cheap. But the book, the Emotional Aromatherapy book, is amazing if we're looking at the emotional side of essential oils. So what's cool is I can go in here and let's just say, what was the emotion? Overwhelmed? What was I looking for? My chat.
Yes, Stacy,
Oh,
it was my
apathetic.
question. It was a combination of like, I'm so overwhelmed with projects, deadlines at work, that I then end up feeling apathetic towards it.
Okay.
And that's not good because I need to get them done.
Okay. So I'm just going to go to overwhelm in here. And that's one of the things is like, I don't memorize too many things anymore. I probably should. It'd be good for my memory, right? Keep my brain on top of things. So overwhelmed. Here's just some. So you might have these on hand already. The first one that comes up is basil. Aroma touch is another one. Past tense is another one. Those are probably my three would be the go-to. And let me just read to you basil, like why it's on that list. This just gives you an idea of. So basil is the oil of renewal. The symptoms of adrenal exhaustion help identify the main moods that are improved with basil, primarily fatigue, low energy, being overwhelmed, and the inability to cope with life stressors. The smell of basil oil brings strength to the heart and relaxation to the mind. So it's probably similar to like going for your walk, right? This oil is also excellent for states of nervousness and anxiousness and despair. Basil oil supports those who are under a great deal of mental strain. It brings rejuvenation and vital forces after long periods of burnout and exhaustion. Basil oil may strengthen the adrenals and restore the body to its natural rhythm of sleep, activity, and rest. Super powerful. And I've tried, like, I've done this. And you can, in this book, it's interesting because you might have a physical manifestation of an emotion. So for instance, maybe you have a pain in a certain area of your body. You can actually look that up in the book, and it will tell you what emotions usually get stored in that area of the body. And then you can use an oil that is applicable for that. You can put it on that area, you can smell it. And at first I was like, that's weird. Like, how does that work? But then as I learned more and more from the science side of it, like how essential oils have certain vibrational energy in all of our cells, and emotions vibrate at a certain measurable frequency, those lower energy emotions, actually, when we raise them, it changes the emotion. And so there are oils that help to change that for you. And that's just been through some study and stuff. So the book is very helpful. Any other questions before we do our little giveaway? Let's see, message. Where do you get the app? The book. Okay. So if it like Google Play or the App Store on an iPhone, if you just search Essential Emotions, I don't know if you can see my app. The middle one, that green one right there, is the Essential Emotions. That's what it looks like. And then the one right there is the Essential Life app that I use. Love both of those. I probably use them almost every day. Other question, Absolute Google Play. Oh, you already answered that. Okay. Stacey, I tried adding the code to a link I was sending to a new customer and it said invalid. Okay, I'll have to check that. Let me get Stephanie. Are you in our Facebook group, Stephanie? Okay, so I will post in there information about the code if it's not working, just to make sure that you can use that. And it is something that they can add later if it's not in the link that you send, but it does have to be at least 100 PV order. And they get a free, I think it's Citrus Bliss or something. At 150, they get a free diffuser. At 200, they would get the free frankincense. And I think it's a Serenity and a 5 milliliter of frankincense and also Adaptiv. So there's quite a few things that they get free with that promo. Okay, so I will get the code fixed up for that. Alrighty, so we are going to do a giveaway. I have the people who were here, early birds. So I had Jen, Kathy, Virginia, Nancy, and Shannon, and we're giving a bottle of myrrh away to those 5. And then for everybody else who's on now, we're going to be giving away Adaptiv capsules. So let me do my random thing, random.org. Should have had Debbie putting people in the spinner. We have this little spinner thing, but somebody has to put their names in it, and it's just kind of fun. Spin the wheel. Okay, here we go. Number 1, Jen. So Jen, you are the winner of the myrrh. Congrats. Now, let me just quickly tell you myrrh before I tell you Adaptiv, because you don't want to run off without knowing what this is for. This will be the emotional side of it. Where did you go? So myrrh is the Mother Earth, Mother Earth, and frankincense is the king of oils. That's cool. So myrrh oil nurtures the soul's relationships with its maternal mother and with earth. This oil supports individuals who have had disturbances with a mother-child bond, whether it's a division between the child and the biological mother. Ooh, this might be good for a lot of people. This division or lack of attachment may be related to adoption, birth trauma, malnourishment, experience of blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's see. So it's helping with bonding, assists with the feeling of being safe. It helps with distrusting, neglect, unsafe world, helps you to feel more bonded, trusting, nurtured, loved, secure, grounded. And then physically, I'll pull it up on my app. Which is cool. You can just type in myrrh. So myrrh is great for drying, healing, and nurturing. So if you have challenges in your mouth, it's great for your gums. So like bleeding gums, gingivitis, it's great for dry skin, stretch marks, cracked heels. So maybe during the winter, if you get that. It's great for thyroid issues like hypothyroid, hyperthyroid, Hashimoto's, digestive upset, cramping, eczema, fungal infections, athlete's foot. Let's see, viral infections, man, sore throat, congestion, mucus, depression, and anxiety. It's great for emotional balance. So there you go. You got yourself a bottle of myrrh. Now let's do the giveaway. We have how many on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me put that in my random. Number 11. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Kimberly shows up number 11. Kimberly, you are the winner.
Yay, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
I was actually going to mention that I am actually out of my bottle of Adaptiv capsules, so that's perfect. But I was going to mention that a lot of times when I wake up with anxiety in the middle of the night, I will take like 1 capsule of Adaptiv and it will totally like just, make that feeling go away and I'm able to go back to sleep. Also copaiba capsules. Those are really helpful as well, like if I'm having anxiety. So yeah, thank
Thanks for
you.
mentioning that. That's awesome to hear. And also for those who aren't familiar with copaiba, that's another go-to awesome oil.
Yes, yeah. Another thing with copaiba, I had an injury. My son accidentally, he was choking on a turkey burger and he hit me with a metal cup and busted my lip. And the only thing that's been helping is copaiba oil. But then it also helps with my anxiety. So it's kind of like, a doubly helpful
Awesome.
thing to put on there. Yeah. So thank you.
Side benefits instead of side effects. That's good. I put my email address in there for Jen and Kimberly. Just send me your mailing address, stacyruns.home@gmail.com. If you grab that, and then I can get those out to you. And then also I'll make sure that Elise gets the ebook to everybody. And we really hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. Stress less, use your oils, use your, journaling. My daughter running around. Yes. All right. Happy holidays.
All
See you
right.
next
Happy
one.
holidays. Thank you so much, Stacy.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy.